We thank you for everything that you've done. All of the work and races you run. Ooh, we thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thank you.
It's me, Yaya Diamond, on Dream Chasers Radio, as well as Golden Rule Media Entertainment. And I have an amazing interview for you today. You guys are going to be like, what? I was like, what? No way. And I'm just so very blessed to have him here. You guys don't want to miss this show. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. So we have an icon, a legend, someone who has set the way, has paved the way for just so many different wonderful people to be in the acting business. And I'm just not going to even delay it anymore. It's Mr. Louis Gossett Jr. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to be here, or anywhere, actually.
I hear that. I hear that. No problem. No problem. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Now, I have some questions here, and I want to make sure that I ask these questions. And I want to go back to your grandmother. And so let's go ahead and
my
talk
great
about
grandmother.
her. Yes, your great grandmother. Yeah, that's right. Yes, your great grandmother.
Well, that was 1953. Do you have a photograph there?
I don't.
Oh, I wish it'd be much more explicit. One of my people who kind of adopted me was the great Paul Robeson, because it was a very empty on Broadway of new kids. So I'm 17, still in high school. And for some wonderful reason, Paul Robeson adopted me, brought me my hamburgers, my fried chicken, with that big laugh of his. And I had seen him in the movie where he played Emperor Jones. Great laugh. And when he shook my hand, his fingers went to my elbow.
Wow.
So now he's backstage hanging out with his new kid brother. And the doorbell rings. No, the doorbell knocks. And you get out of the way. That's my great grandmother. Here's a photograph of me and my great grandmother. Can you see that?
Oh, I can see that. Oh, yeah.
All right. 1953, September.
Wow.
Me and my first play, Take a Giant Step. 17 years old. And my great grandmother is 110.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm sitting here in the birthplace, not too many miles away from where she was born, where she was a slave. Right now, right here, right now. So no accidents. God doesn't put accidents together.
No.
Full circle after 87 years.
Wow.
Every summer, me and my cousins were in Philadelphia, New York, and places, shipped down to the South to the farms to grow the watermelon and help our uncles and our aunts, her family, raising the vegetables, the watermelon, the fruits. That was our job, so that our parents could get a break in summertime when school was out.
Wow.
So we were in great shape. So here we are on Broadway. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Keep going.
Okay, on Broadway. And the doorbell, the door is knocked, and the door is my great grandmother in a wheelchair. She says, "Get out of the way." I said, "Oh, Grandma, you made it to see me in the play." And she slapped me.
Oh.
She said, "Why'd you slap me?" She says, "I saw you sassed your grandma up there, and I taught you better than that." Now, Paul Robeson's incisions. I said, "That's just a line in the play." She says, "I don't care what it is. I taught you better than that. And I'm going to come back next week, make sure you don't say it again."
Oh.
I had the line in the play. I had to say it every performance, but every time I said that line, I stuttered.
Oh my gosh. You knew you were going to get it from her later on.
Yeah. Did you say that line? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grandma's clapping. But I say that story to see how deep embedded we are of our past that we have been taken away from. It's gotten to the place now that it's going to take those rules, those switches, those tablespoons of vile-tasting stuff that kept us from getting sick, those disciplines, those rules, taking care of the family and one another, doing our job expected, and when we did, we stuck out like a sore thumb. Those rules, the only rules left to save mankind.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Wow. Wow. What a rich like heritage to have her for 110 years plus.
We all did. We all
Oh my
did.
gosh.
We all did. So those rules obviously came out of Africa, did it not?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
now those rules, God has a very sense of humor. Those are the only rules left. It's not just African, primitive, tribal. We resurfaced the earth. We restocked the food, so there's never any problem of starvation or hunger or love.
Yeah.
Generation after generation, because we always have home, our tribes, our marketplace.
Wow.
That's the only answer left for our mutual salvation. Is that a sense of humor or what?
It is. It definitely is. It definitely is.
So
And
if you have those roots,
Uh-huh.
smile. Whenever you walk the streets, know that you have the key. You come from the key to the salvation of mankind.
That's right. That's
No
right.
reason to be angry or feeling unjustifiably treated. Now you're sitting in the palm of God's hands with the answer.
Mm. 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 Now, you touched a little bit on growing up in New York. Tell me about that.
Well, growing up in New York was a melting pot, you know. So when I grew up in New York, it was during World War II. I wasn't too much of World War I. I wasn't there yet.
Mhm.
But during World War II was the Hitler regime. And the Jews were running. They turned out to be the intellectual, they turned out to be, excuse my expression, the niggers of Europe. Intelligent, taken advantage of. They had all the information. They were the artists,
Mhm.
the writers, the actors. And all of a sudden, for some magic reason, they stuck together and they were ordered to be exterminated. Those who got away from the concentration camps got on a boat, and the boat ended in Ellis Island in Manhattan and entered the United States with a sympathetic Board of Education member, William Jansen. You can look at it in history books, Jantzen, sympathetic to their cause, had them change their names and entered into the intellectual cream of the crop of America. And acting, there was the Elia Kazans, the Lee Strasbergs, and I grew up with their children. So I came from Georgia, from Coney Island, growing up with them. Those children turned out to be the Arthur Millers, the Barbara Streisands, the Carole Kings. We grew up together with that philosophy. So I never really experienced injustice like the average Black boy or girl would in the South. But I did have a great grandmama who knew about that because she was a slave. So this photograph connected the generation and the times in my system of knowing what that was about and what it's about today. Yeah. So this is a story I tell you all, regardless of your age. If you're Black, you have roots, you are heir apparent to the salvation of mankind. Wow. It's as simple. God can and would if he was sought. And you have to take care of your brother, your sister. Somebody's hungry, you feed them. Somebody's homeless, you put them in bed. You hug them when they need love. Nothing but unconditional love and understanding for one another is going to save the planet and mankind. Definitely. That's you, that's me.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Wow.
Now, when you walk the streets with that look on your face now, you know where it comes from.
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
definitely.
No need to be angry.
None.
God took care. God is taking care of it. You're going to be needed for our mutual salvation.
Wow. Wow. So what, I mean, okay, so you say you didn't get the treatment like the normal Black, child growing up. So what was it like being Black in Hollywood?
Well, I wasn't, well, Black in Hollywood was one thing. I was Black in Brooklyn first, Coney Island.
Okay.
And that's where we all grew up in junior high school and high school. I was the president of the junior high school
Mm-hmm.
and the senior class president in high school during the time of Take a Giant Step. And one day, I think I was about 12 years old. And we played, me and my buddies played fingers, bang, bang, you're dead kind of, and stickball and all that kind of stuff. Not a whole lot of money. So one day, I started getting a little hair on my chin. So I could not play Superman that day. I started figuring out what to do with my face so I could look more like Superman. I did not know that because I was Black, I didn't look like Superman. So I went out, did my best, and my friend, a white man, Stanley Ralph Ross, said, "What's the matter with you today?" I said, "Well, I just don't look like Superman." He said, "Why'd you say that?" So I looked in the mirror. He said, No, that's not the point. He says, "You're Superman today." It hit a psychological thing that was growing in my system, and I haven't had it since. We are Superman and Superwoman, Wonder Woman every day.
I
If
love
we
Wonder
decide
Woman. I love
you are
me some
Wonder
Wonder
Woman,
Woman.
it's your
It does-
turn.
Wow.
Don't think about being prejudiced against anymore.
No.
You're going to be needed for the salvation of us all. Different mindset, is it not, when you wake up in the morning?
Yeah, that's definitely right. Yeah.
So see your church on Sunday and know that God has a sense of humor. It's your turn.
Yeah. I was
It's
always
not right. It's just your turn.
That's right. And I loved Wonder Woman and Cher. I mean, I wanted to carry
Absolutely,
around
absolutely.
and I wanted to
Yeah.
be Cher, And I was told when I
Yeah.
was little, you can't be Cher. You don't have that kind of hair.
Yeah,
Like,
but you
we
look,
could buy it.
you look like Beyonce now, don't you?
Hey,
Full circle,
full
full circle.
circle. Mm-hmm.
Now look who's the finest on the planet.
Hello.
Keep your smile. You and your
I
husband
definitely
walk down the
will.
street with a smile.
I definitely
That's
will.
what you feel when you wake up in the morning, knowing that you have the answer. You
Mm.
live the answer for the salvation of mankind. You're not here to shoot nobody, to fight nobody, to complain.
No.
Let's do this together.
No, no, I did want to ask you because these questions are really kind of cool and they're a little bit different. Paul, who is Paul Robeson?
Oh, Paul Robeson was oh boy, he was an icon, my icon, one of mine. He was early on. Paul Robeson was the forerunner, was a recipient of all the awards. He had to run to Russia, big, deep voice, along with a couple of other people in history. But that's a whole other radio broadcast for you. It's a little history lesson.
Okay.
You should know about your predecessors.
Mhm.
And another time I'll tell you about Mary McLeod Bethune.
Oh, I loved her.
Oh boy, you have no idea the effect she had on the world
Mm-hmm.
through Eleanor Roosevelt and the Pullman car porters, and Ralph Bunche, Jackie Robinson. We have been amazing. Now it's our turn to save the planet. Cease war. No negatives, nothing but positives, whether they like it or not. In order for us to do that, we have to throw away the negatives.
Yeah.
The attitude, none. It's your turn.
Wow. Wow. Well, I got a scholarship to Bethune.
Oh yeah. Well, then you
I
know
did.
who that lady is. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a scholarship to Bethune. I got sick and I wasn't able to attend.
Mhm.
So I never went, but I did get a scholarship to Bethune. It was one of the colleges that I really, really wanted to attend. And it was just something that was just so fantastic. And when I got sick, I was like, oh.
You know much about that lady?
I did study back in the day, but life has happened to me. And I know she's iconic, but that's pretty much all that remained with my brain.
I understand. So let me see if I can get some help here. If I can't get the help, I'll tell you the story anyway.
Okay.
In the 40s.
Mhm.
It's could you find that picture, please? My assistant. Shawana, say hello. That's my assistant.
Hey, love.
Hi.
How are
Hey.
you?
That's the brains, yeah. She'll show the picture of Mary McLeod Bethune,
Mm.
and God rest her soul, also Eleanor Roosevelt.
Oh, wow.
So now, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, here it is, this photograph.
Wow, we're going to zoom in on that. Yeah.
Zoom in on the picture of these two women.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it
Wow.
clearly?
I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, now they were the best of friends. And 4 months later, the war was over against Germany. But until then, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, there's a photograph of him in a wheelchair with a blanket over his chest. And underneath the blanket is a fifth of alcohol. So Franklin Delano Roosevelt was an alcoholic at the time. The pressures of the war were tough. So his wife, Eleanor, wandered around Washington, D.C. She wandered around the Lincoln Memorial. And there was a song and a voice, and Paul Robeson. She stopped and listened to this great voice. And after Paul Robeson was Marian Anderson, incredible, world-stopping voices. And then a woman spoke, and she got transfixed, and that was Mary McLeod Bethune, activists. The next thing you know, the two of them became inseparable, best of friends. The rumor was that they were really closer than that, but forget that part. One day, she comes to the White House and grabs a bottle from her husband's lap and says, I want you to listen to me. And he starts to grab, she says, no, you'll get this back later. First, I want you to integrate the armed forces. He said, what do you want? I want you to put blacks in the armed forces. We're losing this war. He said, they're not capable. He said, I don't care what you say. Call Eisenhower and order him to integrate the blacks out of the supply thing into the military. So he forces Eisenhower to create black forces, Tuskegee Airmen,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
the Regiment Armory in Harlem, one in Atlanta. Eisenhower says, I got a problem. And he calls the worst bigot in the military, Patton, P-A-T-T-O-N, that movie. And he says, send him to me. So Patton is got the name Field Marshal as a champion of chess. That's how he'd win the wars. And that's how the army would get the titles, as whatever level they were in the chess game.
Okay.
He's got the British and the Australians in El Qaim, C-H-A-I-M, North Africa, about to annihilate them because of his chess moves. As fate would have it, the Tuskegee Airmen, young pilot, flew low enough to see the maneuver. He said, that's such and such maneuver. They radioed to the black tanks, and they went to this place and kept Field Marshal Rommel from annihilating the British, sent Field Marshal Rommel back to Berlin, calling them the dirty Schwarzes. This is a true story.
Wow.
Where did it start?
Bethune.
Mary McLeod Bethune, whispering in the ear of Eleanor.
Wow.
So now Mary McLeod Bethune passes away. FDR passes away, and Eleanor Roosevelt starts the United Nations, Pullman colporteurs, and the NAACP. She was the #1 proponent of Black rights from then on. That's a movie I'm trying to get done as a producer.
Wow.
It's a true story, honey. And there's more true stories like that. Feel proud of yourself now.
Definitely.
No need to be upset and in incomprehensive demoralization. It's over.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. So, okay, so you're going to be in Atlanta for Juneteenth at the parade, am I right?
Yes, I live in Atlanta, and I'm on my 87th year to be of selfless service to talk about Juneteenth and what it means as a national holiday and why we should just not let it go as a day off.
Right.
Let's pay attention to what Juneteenth really means. The day they legally established the freedom of the slaves. And what have we done from then until now? And the key to that is the growth of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to force a holiday for 8 days of Juneteenth. So just like the Cannes Film Festival, because we have the #1 film studios. We got Tyler Perry here. Let's make it once a year on that day off or that week off to celebrate our art and our heart once a year at least, to celebrate Juneteenth and what it meant to us all.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I wish I could be there on that day. I'm actually coming up the following weekend, but that's just, you know,
It's a pride. It's a privilege to wave from that car.
Yes, it is.
It's our turn. It's our turn. No need to have negatives anywhere. It's your turn, our turn, to do good for the benefit of us all.
Yes, for everyone. Definitely.
For everyone. Yes. It's just magic, though. What is magic is in school we learn certain things that the forefathers also had slaves, but for some reason God took their hand and wrote on a piece of paper, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are free. So how did they write that and have slaves at the same time? Because that's God directing the hands. Full circle, here we are, Juneteenth.
That's right. That's right.
We are #1 Americans now. We are the #1. That's full circle.
That's full circle. That's big time amazing. That is big time amazing.
That's why the parade is great, to sit in the back of that car and wave as a first class American.
Yes.
Not African American, American African.
Why did you put it that way?
There's a difference in the mindset. There's an American Jew, an American Italian. We all combine. America is a combination of all these cultures to make one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
That's right. We're supposed to be indivisible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it would be nice.
Now it's time for us to grow up.
We got to do that. Definitely.
No more poverty, no more unemployment, no more poverty, no more starvation, no more injustice. We're all brothers and sisters in this country. And by example, the rest of the world will follow suit.
Yes, I would love that. We have to do that. Guys, I hope you're listening. Please share this video because this is just amazing. Amazing. Now, I have to go and ask you about a rubber band gun.
Oh my gosh.
What about the rubber band gun?
Okay, so back in the time, oh boy, I don't know what time. I was probably in the 40s, I guess, the late 40s, early 50s. My cousin, they had gangs in Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, and they used to dress very well. I used to sing their songs. I was part of the Rivaliers. We sing a song called "A Thousand Stars in the Sky." We used to rehearse in the subway because of the acoustics.
Oh, I love the acoustics.
They'd be fighting with what's they call these guns? Zip guns.
Right.
Made with wood and rubber bands and a 22 pipe. And we had the diddy bop. And we walked with a foot in country. And I always had to behave myself, so I couldn't wear my stuff. So my cousin was part of the Bedford-Stuyvesant El Diablos. And he left his hat and his jacket in my house. And he told me to bring it to him. So I put the hat on and the jacket. And if you know New York, the subway goes from Prospect Park to the Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Right.
I go downstairs and I'm surrounded with the opposite gang. The
With the jacket and the hat on?
Yeah. They got me up against the wall. And a man comes and looks me in the eye and cocks this zip gun and pulls the trigger, and the rubber band broke. And it's not in the Guinness Book of Records, but 8 blocks down the way is the borderline of the El Quintos and the El Diablos. And I crossed the borderline of Nostrand and Franklin Avenue, and they were across the street. You know who that man was that looked me in the eye? You would know if he's going to pull the trigger. That man was Floyd Patterson. I got a chance to tell him that. He said, you're probably right. So we became very close, me and him. Wow. We cried in each other's arms. His brother died of manslaughter from Sing Sing. But they were cold. Floyd got saved when he sent him to the Whitwick School for Boys, and he came out as world champion. We were pretty tight.
Wow.
That's where Mike Tyson came from, that area. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn.
That's right. That's right. And you know, a lot of people don't know that you have a love for the youth.
Oh, I love it. It's necessary. Just like my great grandmother taught me. It's continuum. It's connection. It's expected. And when it's not happened, they can turn into juvenile delinquents because they're not getting what they expect.
Yeah.
It's like a child in the kitchen with mama on the phone too long. The food's in the high chair. That food's going to go on the floor because they're not getting enough attention. We need to give them attention and tell them these lessons without any other agenda. And that forum, that custom will continue for the salvation of us all. The American Indian is the same.
Right.
The Latin is the same. We're all Americans. So an American African with full responsibility of taking care of this country, just like everybody else. No more complaints.
I like that. American African.
American African.
I like that. I like that a lot. It defines me at least better than African American because I don't know Africa. I've never been.
African American's got problems. American African has not. You're American.
I am. I was born
All the
here.
rights belong to you.
Right. With a descendancy of the African,
Yes,
which
ma'am.
to me really, really equates better in my mind and helps me to understand myself a lot better than the opposite. And I think from now
Then
on,
you can
I
understand
will.
roots a little bit better too.
Exactly. And I will be using that. I hope you don't mind, Mr. Gossett.
No, I want it to be contagious.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So, okay. So I wanted to talk about the Racism Foundation.
Yes. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Forgive me.
No, go ahead.
Okay. The Racism Foundation is as a result of suffering racism.
Right.
Doing what you get to. I deserve. I have Oscars, I have Emmys, I get Grammys. I get the best. If I was, excuse me, expression, but I can't use it on a daily basis. But if I was white with that track record, I'd be a trillionaire.
Yeah.
I'd throw all that garbage out and continue on being of selfless service. Whenever you get a call, you roll your sleeves up and you do your work from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, the best you can, and you get the results. So I've got results from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different movies, different characters. And as a result of stay, I've been around the world some 10 times with my sons. And I'm very glad to still be here. Most of my contemporaries are not. I learned a great deal from the great Paul Robeson. Look him up. And there are others to look up. We have a lot. We haven't got a lot to give. We have a lot to give. It's time for us to give without, so that an event like a 7-year-old black girl knocking on the door and getting shot never happens.
Right.
A man who can't breathe never happens. You may as well do that to yourself if you do that to us.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be together. Just like I see already in sports, I see these young folks, they don't care what you say. They're dancing together, hugging each other.
Oh, yeah.
You see the color of the babies? Come on. This is the best in the world here.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate.
That's right.
Let's party. Come on. This is America. Come on. Yeah.
I hear that.
It's our turn. It's all of our turn. Stop that. The devil is trying to take over. And finally, God, if you go to church on Sunday, you know God's in charge of everything. He even created the devil. But he put the devil out there in hell for us to overcome it so we get closer to him. True or false?
True.
Okay. So now whenever adversity happens, that's God creating a conflict. And we have to overcome in order to get a clean, clear message from him. He's standing there in the corner with his arms folded, as he is today, waiting for us to get rid of all this stuff. Fentanyl, war, dropping bombs. We've got to get rid of all of it so we can hear him clean and clear. from mutual salvation.
Yeah.
We American Africans have a place in that history. Let's stop.
Well, people don't know this. I don't know if they do, but I didn't know that you have a love for music and that you wrote a song as well. Was it okay? So Richie Haven and the song "Handsome."
Handsome Johnny.
Right.
Handsome Johnny.
Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Well, that was during the anti-war era, and I did a play. In the play, we were rehearsing in Greenwich Village. I went to school at Greenwich Village in New York University.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing an off-Broadway play. And in the play, it's called The Blacks. It was a hit in France, written by a French avant-garde playwright by the name of Jean Genet, Genet. Now, in this play, this is name gives you goosebumps. Cicely Tyson, Maya Angelou, James Earl Jones, Godfrey Cambridge, Roscoe Lee Brown, Abby Lincoln, Rex Ingram, people like that, Maya Angelou, everybody. It lasted 5.5 years. While we're rehearsing that play, during the time of young men burning up their draft cards, was some music next door to where we were rehearsing in a coffee shop. I go to the coffee shop to get a cup of coffee and a sandwich, and there's some people knocking the people's butts down with the music. And you couldn't applaud because there's too much noise for the neighborhood. So you snapped your fingers. On that stage was a brother of mine, Richie Havens. He got my goosebumps and we hung out. So Handsome Johnny is an anti-war song that he adapted. And Handsome Johnny going to war with a different weapon. Going to Concord with a musket. Going to Gettysburg with a carbine. Go to Korea with a M1, M15. And the final line is, what's the use of singing this song? Some of you are not even listening. What does we have to do? Wait for our fields to start glistening. Here comes a hydrogen bomb. Here comes a guided missile. What do we have to do? Wait for our fields to start glistening. He opened that song in Woodstock of my song. So now, from the Blacks, I got a series in Los Angeles called The Young Rebels, about the Revolutionary War. And the series is flopping. And I'm being put out, evicted by a landlord in Laurel Canyon. And the mailman comes, and on the top of the mailman is a letter, a residual check. The residual check was over $70,000. And I got my house back. Handsome Johnny.
Wow.
It was called, the original song, the title was Song with No End. So the next line of the song of Handsome Johnny is, hey, look at yonder, tell me what do you see?
Wow. Wow.
So now it's something else. Yeah. The weapon is different now.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Wow. You've done it all, but now you have an upcoming work that's coming out, The Color Purple, Awaken the Reaper. Tell me about this.
Well, Awaken the Reaper, I don't know about that yet. So I'm superstitious on that.
Okay.
Until the
Well, never
negotiation
mind.
time. But The Color Purple.
Color Purple.
The Color Purple.
Oh my God.
Wonderful. We had Joanna. She's gonna have to help me with something to show you.
Okay.
I need to show that Fantasia thing.
Fantasia's amazing.
Isn't she something?
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. Her journey is just inspirational.
She was
been
in The Color
through so
Purple.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last day of shooting, on the way home, we stop at the gate, and the cast of Color Purple is waiting, and I'm in the car.
We thank you and appreciate you so much.
Can you hear it?
All you gave to us today. We thank you so much. We thank you for everything that you've done. All of the work and races you run. Ooh, we thank you From the bottom of our hearts, we want to say thank you.
She brings tears to my eyes. And she's right. Thank you.
Thank you back.
Thank you.
That's God's way of saying thank you. When you're on the right track, those things happen. You live a long time. You're very grateful. The director was from Ghana. And so by suggestion, that's what Juneteenth is about. Let's be grateful. We had the ball's in our lap.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's happened to us in the past, including slavery and whipping, the ball is now in your lap.
Yeah. She's right, though. Thank you so much, Mr. Gossett, for doing everything that you've done. You've paved the way for so many people. What kind of advice do you give to these young ones growing up after you that want to follow in your footsteps?
There's no such thing as impossible. Throw that out the window.
Yeah.
That's what I got from my great grandmama. God couldn't would if he was thought he put it together in the first place. Why abandon him now?
Well,
go for it.
Whew. That did it for me. Mr. Gossett, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for being here today. And congratulations on still doing it and still coming out and still acting and encouraging people and being a part of everyone's life and also changing my mind on who I am.
God bless you. Keep the smile going, you and your man, and make a difference on a daily basis.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And so are you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Mr. Gossett, how can we find you on the internet? Are you do you have Facebook or anything like that?
Yeah, share social media. You'll find out.
Right. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we do have the Facebook.
Okay, so Facebook. Okay, so
this is a very important interview. So now that we get a following, let us be a snowball going down a mountain.
Definitely. We will put.
We got a presidential election going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spread the word. Spread the word.
I will.
It's going that way anyway.
Yep. Thank you.